Hello? Hello? Echo. Welcome to the Caffeinated Podcast. I'm BUBBZI. He's the beard. This is the show where positivity is the goal, but chaos is the process. Wow.
Hello? 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 Hello?
Hello.
See, I don't have all the fancy skills, dude.
Skills, I hit a button. A button. I hit the button. I just turned you up a little bit as well. So
That's all right. You know, guys, we just wanted to do something a little different for October.
October.
But as you all know, we have a sponsor. We love them. They give us good coffee. And, well, you know, all that good stuff.
Coffee
Good
is
coffee
very
cups.
important.
So jump in there, BUBBZI. Let's tell them all about the sponsor, and then we'll head out.
Head out. We just started.
I know.
All right. Well, we are currently sponsored by Coffeetarian. That's right. That's coffee plus humanitarian. The entire vision behind Coffeetarian is not only to supply you with, and you just turned off your camera, to supply you with quality, curated coffee right to your
Wrong
door.
button.
But they also are to assist with all humanitarian efforts that they can around the world. Coffeetarian is an online marketplace that offers coffee and other various items such as coffee cups, mugs, shirts, hats, everything like that, as well as a coffee blog to step your game up. So if you haven't heard, we have our own coffee snob, and I'm going to let him talk about the specific type of coffees that you can get from there.
Right. Well, I know about coffee a little bit. I know about technology, not at all. But the best thing about Coffeetarian is they offer single origin coffees from regions such as Guatemala, Mexico, Colombia, Tanzania, and more. They have blends such as breakfast and cowboy blend, which you would like both. I promise you, mixing high quality single origin and just changing the roast levels to make it work and to make it so very tasty. Finally, they offer flavored coffees such as Mexican chocolate, Cinnabon, which is one of Mama Beard's favorites, pumpkin spice, and others. All of the coffee is roasted on demand per order and shipped the next day. What that means is after you place your order, then they roast it, and within 4 to 5 business days, you'll get it so that your coffee will have that perfect freshness. Now, for the hardcore, die-hard coffee fans, Coffeetarian is now offering a subscription that auto orders, auto ships your coffee on a weekly or monthly basis, all dependent on how much of their excellent blends you consume.
Now, like we said earlier, they have all the coffee you could need in the world, hopefully, because we need a lot. They've got your cups, they've got your hats, they've got your shirts. We both have our own coffee cups. I'm not drinking coffee today. I wanted orange dreamsicle.
Something else.
Yeah, I wanted orange dreamsicle today. But obviously, I had a cup earlier. It was fantastic. There's nothing that can beat it so far. But the thing, like we mentioned earlier, that makes Coffeetarian special is that they assist with humanitarian efforts. Every single purchase you make, a portion of it goes to assist charities every month. Now, this month, and I believe last month, as you've heard us talk about, they are helping New Breed Incorporated with their Educate Liberia initiative. Now, what this does is it helps not only build schools in Liberia, but also gives them the supplies they need. Now, Liberia was ravished by civil wars, and there's not been a lot of education there for many years. So there's adults, there's kids that are all getting their first chance and access to education, and you can help with that. Now they are repairing roofs, getting supplies. Like I said, a portion of every purchase you make.
Ready.
Every portion that you, or every purchase you make, a portion of it goes to assist with this. And if you also go to coffeetarian.store on your first coffee order, if you use code BEARD, that's BEARD, you get 10% off your first order.
Nice. We made it.
We
and I
did
didn't.
it. We
Yeah, we
did it.
did it.
We did
We
it.
did it. You know, and
Yay!
the thing
I
about
hope
it
I
is,
don't get
Coffeetarian has been really graceful with our chaotic approach to their ads.
Well, it's part of the process.
Well, it is, and
It's
we try
in
to
the
have a little
tagline.
fun with it, guys. You know, we are not, I mean, as you can tell by me accidentally turning the camera off for just a second a moment ago, we are not scripted in the least. We have a notepad, I guess, for lack of a better way to put it, that's got like, okay, we might talk about this, we might talk about that. That's pretty much it.
Well, I mean, what was it? Last week we had a non-recorded version of this podcast.
Right. We were almost done too. That's the sad part.
We were 45 minutes in, and I realized, this is not recording, which
Yeah.
I've already confirmed we're recording. So we're good on that front, thankfully. So,
Well, for those that have been with us since the beginning, you know how excited we were when Coffeetarian contacted us and said, we'd like to sponsor the podcast. So from us to you, just to let you know, we have something else in the works also. Not that we're telling Coffeetarian bye, because one thing, we love their coffee too much and we love their people too much.
yeah.
But it's been brought to my attention by another gentleman that we're going to start bringing his products to you. I don't want to give a whole lot of information about what the product is. I will say that if you have one or you love somebody that has one, you will really enjoy what's about to come.
I will say there is
Okay.
no conflict of interest. It is not another coffee company.
No, it's not another coffee company, which, you know, knowing the folks at Humanitarian, they'd be like, go for it anyway.
Yeah.
You know, but we're just here to entertain. We're here to laugh. We're here to have a little fun. You know me, I'm here to get a little serious every now and then, because our goal is just to lift you up, make you smile, hopefully make your day a little bit better. So, BUBBZI, should we tell them what we kind of came up with? And once they hear the title, I think they'll understand. I mean, after all, it is October, you know, so.
Well, here's the thing. We normally have a title for these things. I don't think we ever really came up with like a title.
Yeah, this one kind of spoke for itself, didn't it?
Yeah. I will say the one of the funny lines we thought about doing was like, "Oh honey, I found Bigfoot," you know?
Right.
Which if
He
you
lives
didn't
upstairs. I'm just saying.
if you didn't get that, okay, that was a Robin Williams, Honey, I Shrunk the Kids. That was Robin Williams, right? Or am I thinking of like something else?
No, that was a different guy. It was the guy from Ghostbusters. I can't think of his name though.
There's another
But Robin
movie
Williams would have done a good job.
Oh my gosh!
But
he
it
would've
was
done a great
a
job.
Honey, I Shrunk the Kids reference.
Yes.
Either way.
But we're talking.
And for anybody that we offended because we don't know his name, we apologize.
Well, I'm thinking. I was thinking of.
I think it's Rick something.
No. One movie that I think I watched around the same time, or like when I saw them the first time, is like Emerging, and it's like what's the one, the slime living?
That's
slime?
Ghostbusters.
No, living slime. Robin Williams like made it in a lab.
Flubber.
Gosh, I was like, I'm sitting here like it's not Goober.
Yeah. No. But anyway, it's October. And of course, you know, there'll be another one next week. We may come up with something totally different or worse or better. We don't know. We never know what's going to happen until it happens. So welcome to the journey. But the title for today is simply Urban Legends.
By the way, you mentioning Halloween, the only thing that popped in my head was a vampire impression. Then I was like, I've gone to drink your coffee.
No.
Yeah.
No. No.
Wait, question. Can a vampire get the caffeine if they drink your blood if you just had a cup of coffee?
I don't know.
These are the questions that happen on the Caffeinated podcast.
Right. So here's what we're going to do, guys. Like I said, we just kind of like to give you the rundown and let you know kind of what we were thinking when we put the notes together. But you know how it is. Once we give you the notes, we just let the rabbits run and we talk till we get tired. That's what we do. And so we're going to try to talk about, what is an urban legend. I think most people kind of have their own idea. They kind of have their own definition. But,
Yeah.
goofy me goes on to Google, puts it up, says, what is an urban legend, and pulls up a definition. So I can give you a definitive definition.
Yeah.
And then we thought we would talk about some of the more well-known urban legends, maybe, stuff that you've probably heard of, thought about, talked about, or how most urban legends are. Well, this happened to my uncle's brother's Tom, cousin's twin sister Joe, something like that.
Wait, the twin sister's name's Joe?
Yeah, short for Josephine. Keep up, man. Come on. Anyway, number 3 is we thought we'd talk maybe a couple about some urban legends from movies that we had heard of or that we had found. And then thought we would kind of talk about some urban legends from our home state and maybe some of the other states as well. It's kind of funny, Bubs. Seems like every state has at least one, if not more, crazy urban legend, which I think is kind of cool. And then finally, we thought we would talk to, just share with you a little bit. And hopefully, guys, you know how it is. You'll share with us. Is there some of the urban legends that you actually believe? And as always, we want you to like the video. We want you to share the video. We want you to comment on the video. We want you to subscribe to the podcast if you haven't already. And just come along on the ride with us. Because quite frankly, you never know where it's going to end up. And that's just kind of the way it goes.
Our rabbits run well. It's okay.
Oh, well, yeah. I mean, I guess they still do greyhound racing down in Florida or something like that, maybe. But these dogs are fast and they chase the little thing around the track, the little fake rabbit around. They couldn't catch our rabbits. That's how bad the chaos is. I'm just saying. Right? So what do you think, Bub? Shall we just give them the definition and then just kind of let them run?
Well, obviously.
Okay. So this is what I pulled up, and this is off of what Trend Micro is what it says. Okay. It says an urban legend is a form of modern folklore in which stories told are thought to be true, but are likely untrue or distortions and exaggerations of the truth. Nowadays, urban legends are often spread by email. That's the whole definition from there. So,
spread by email? Is that what you said?
that's what it said. That's what it said.
It's one of those.
I don't know if I buy that or not.
No. Here's one of those things like maybe they meant like Facebook Messenger. It's like, if you don't share this post with 10 of your friends and they don't share it with 10 of their friends, then you will die.
You know how it is. I got you. So,
I ignore
what do you
those,
think are some of? I'm sorry.
I ignore those messages, by the way.
I do too. I don't even open them. Yeah. I mean, it may be an urban legend in itself, guys, but be careful what email you open because there's no telling what's going to happen to your computer when you do. Just saying. That's just kind of the way it works.
Very true.
So, what do you think, Bubs? What are some of the, and we don't have to go into a great deal, we'll talk about them some, but what are some of the more, I guess, popular urban legends? What's some of the stuff that you've heard more than once, I guess is what I'm trying to get at.
Well, and the thing is, like, everyone knows that we want to do a cryptids episode.
Yes.
Which, if you didn't know, we're big sci-fi nerds in most cases. The thing about cryptids, though, is there's a lot of real life application where people have saying, here's evidence. Right. That's what makes cryptids incredibly interesting. So some urban legends will mix in with cryptids to some point that we're going to talk about.
Yeah.
But as far as like very obvious ones, I think everyone's heard of Bigfoot. If you haven't heard of Bigfoot as an urban legend, there's probably something wrong.
See, I'm just one of those people that thinks he's a legend.
I just think he's a legend at hide and seek.
He is the most legendary hide and seek player ever.
Yeah.
Just saying.
Well, what was it? You've got that. obviously, well, and th- there's a lot of like things with America, with it just being so large, that there's a lot of things that overlap between states sometimes.
Hmm. True. True.
Like you've got skinwalkers. I'm not gonna say the other one, the other name for those, just because
In the Windy Bagel.
the Windy Bagel. By the okay, so everyone knows we're on TikTok all the time. I love looking up horror cryptids, that kind of stuff on TikTok. Fantastic. The names that these people have come up to say the Skinwalker and the other variations of their name that are not supposed to be talked about, uh, due to tradition and things like that. The names people have come up with are fantastic. Fantastic. Like you've got the Windy Bagel for the W iteration of a Skinwalker. You've also, just to replace Skinwalker, I absolutely love this one, Flesh Pedestrian.
I don't like that one.
I love that one.
I just don't like that one.
Well,
I don't know why I don't like that one, but I just don't like that one.
What?
So,
what was it? Last week's podcast. The title that you didn't like. What was it? Brain development practitioner or something like that.
oh yeah, growth development practitioner. Or
Yeah,
something
no, I
like
absolutely loved
I
that
don't
one
like
too.
that one either.
Like that, bro. Like that's like one of the people on like these dating apps who like, I work for a multi-million-dollar corporation in the sales and marketing division, when they're like, I'm just a cashier at McDonald's.
Right?
Like, oh my gosh, it's like, yeah, I do customer service for a multi-million-dollar company and I make sure that sales are through the roof. And it's just like, I see how it is.
Excuse me. Sorry about that.
No. What about you? Is there some ones that just stick out to you?
Well, I mean, again, I've never made it quiet for the fact that, I do believe that Bigfoot exists. Now, people laugh at me because of that, but if you listen to some of the few podcasts back, the reason I say that is because number one, I would rather live in a world where anything is possible than to live in a world where I believe nothing is possible. So, that's the kind of thing that I think about. And then you always have the one, what is the one of the scary ones that they talk about? We may hit it later again. I don't know. But I've always heard the one about Bloody Mary or something like, and I don't even remember the details. I just remember the name of it, if that makes any sense.
Like going into the bathroom, turning off the light, saying it 3 times.
Yeah,
in front
that
of the
kind
mirror.
of thing.
Okay.
Yeah. And she supposedly shows up, apparently she's Candyman's little sister. I don't know. I mean,
You
it just,
said his name. You said his name.
I did, but I only said it once. It's just like I can say Beetlejuice once and get away.
No,
Get away with it.
No, Beetlejuice is 3 times. Candyman's 1 time, actually.
No, Candyman is 3 times too, I think.
I don't think in the most.
I could be wrong. Maybe the new movie's different. I don't know, but in the old movie, it was 3 times.
I wanted to watch the new one, actually. I haven't done that yet.
But, and it's just, there's all kinds of unusual things, and I feel like I ought to say this, BUBBZI, before we get into any of the other ones, like the stuff from our state. And I think that it's entirely possible that somewhere, if you were to be able to follow any of these urban legends back, you're going to find at least a mustard seed of truth. Somewhere, at some point, the story had to start. And as stories tend to do, if you don't know all the facts and you're telling your buddies you add a fact, you stretch it a little bit, whatever the case may be. And then you end up with these far-fetched stories that that can't be possible.
Yeah, it's like some chimpanzee escaped from a local zoo, got stung on the foot by a hornet or something like that, and its foot expanded.
Who knows? Who knows? Personally, I think there's a 7 or 8 foot family of cryptids running around out there somewhere. It would be a whole lot harder for me to trust in the Bigfoot legend if the sightings were only in one state.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? But they are spread out. There's a lot in certain states, but there have been sightings of a something or similar creature in a lot of states. So it's hard telling.
Maybe there's just
But
something in the water. Did we ever think about that? Like maybe there's just something in the water.
I don't know. Maybe the guy just needs a shave. I mean, it's
I
it's
mean,
entirely possible. I mean,
we know somebody who wears a sweater all year round, so
well, you know, I mean, and here's what I'm saying. For example, I know it's a little bit different because any of these urban legends, like I said, could have a grain of truth to them. Even the Bigfoot one, even the what is it, the Jersey Devil, which I think is kind of tied into the Bigfoot legend, which
Mhm.
is another one that that you hear a lot about. The Mothman. I mean, they're
Well,
again, I
like
don't.
those are cryptids, but like urban legends can also be like, oh, this place, this is what happens at this place, like time skips.
Yeah,
Like, of course, we made a joke like, oh, you're gonna bring up time theory. There are places, and like there's actually places here in Kentucky where people experience time skips, technically, where they say I went in at this point and I thought I was there for 5 minutes, and it turns out I was there for over an hour.
yeah.
Like that
Well,
that's an urban legend, you know what I mean?
well, that's what I'm saying. And if we didn't know, and what I'm going to say like this, if we didn't know it to be for a fact, like if you had just for now, if it was the first time it ever happened that you heard that they found a Japanese soldier from World War II on an island in the Pacific, still thinking the war was going on, still trying to hold his position down and fighting the war for, how many ever years it's been,
Mm-hmm.
everybody's like, no, that can't be true. But we know that
Yeah.
it happened not once, but more than once. Right. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
again, you remember there used to be a legend about the giant sea squid. It can't happen. It can't be real until they caught one. Again, I'd rather live in a world where anything is possible.
Well,
But
like what is it, the Mariner's Trench or whatever that we've not like we haven't can't send
yeah, I can't
anything
think of
to.
it. That's close, but yeah,
Yeah, but like we've not even touched the bottom of it yet.
yeah. We don't have any equipment capable of actually scoping out what's actually down there.
Like here's the thing, okay? NASA, of course, this is we're taking this like we'll say this is like a segment about like conspiracy theories or whatever. NASA originally started exploring the ocean. What did they find in the ocean to make them stop and try to go towards space?
I don't know.
Like,
I don't know. It's entirely possible. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it is absolutely possible. And that's the thing with all these. I mean, like I've got some pulled up from Kentucky. I've got some that are quote unquote supposed to be scary and all this other stuff because a lot of urban legends they're designed to do that. The ones that everybody seems to remember are the ones that are supposed to creep you out. You know, at least that's it's kind of seems to be the way with me. Those are the ones I remember the most.
what's always like
Right.
those late nights, like, I'm gonna tell you a story and then you're going to bed. It's like, make sure you don't get up in the middle of the night and bother me. Thank you.
Well, it's like, for example, there's all kinds of them. There is, and just because we just kind of hit it anyway. A lot of people may not remember the movie 3.5 Men. Or no, I'm sorry, 3 Men to Baby. 3.5 Men was a TV show. Sorry about that.
Yeah, yeah.
Brain fart. Yeah, whatever.
Men,
But yeah, well, I kind of
men.
combined them. But in this movie, three devout bachelors, somebody left a baby on their doorstep. Now, the rumor was, the urban legend to begin with was that the film was filmed in a haunted home where a boy had died. And I'm not going to tell you whether it was or not. You can go look if you want. You can research it. You can put it down in the comments if you even remember the movie.
I have no clue.
But they tried to say that the boy kept showing up in the film. And I do remember finding the scene years ago. And what I saw was something that looked like a rifle and something that looked like a little boy in a curtain. Now, they tried to say that it was a cutout or something later on. I don't know if it was or not. But you can look it up. 3 Men and a Baby, Ghost Boy. I don't know how you look it up, but you can see what I'm talking about. You can make a decision for yourself. And that's the thing with all these urban legends. BUBBZI and I are going to share our opinion, we're going to kind of tell you if we kind of believe in them or not at the end, and are the ones that we really believe in more. But it's not up to us; it's up to you all.
Well, I actually don't remember seeing that movie personally. That's actually kind of interesting.
I don't. You may not even been around when it first came out, brother.
Well,
I mean, it's that old.
Yeah. I mean,
But I mean, that's just one of
those
those movie things,
Yeah, it makes sense why you know what it is. It makes sense that you know what it is.
Yeah, because I'm old.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
That's what I was trying to say.
Love should have just said it out. Is there another well-known one that kind of sticks in your head that you want to share?
What is it? I can't remember. Oh, Goatman's Bridge.
Goatman's Bridge.
Mm-hmm.
You might have to refresh my memory. It sounds familiar, but I'm not 100%.
It's one of those haunted bridges. I can't remember where it's at. One of the probably the most recent thing that you'll look up to it is if you want something that's just really funny, they're not taking it super serious, you can look at BuzzFeed's trying to remember I can't remember the name, but BuzzFeed did a series. There's two guys, I think Ryan and Shane. BuzzFeed Unsolved. They did a thing on it, as well as if you watch Ghost Adventures, the team did a thing on Goatman's Bridge as well. But basically, I think it was a slave, ended up like jumping off this bridge, and he like haunts the place now. But there's also been an actual site. They say that there's also been sightings of a goat man on the bridge as well. That is supposedly him. There's a couple different variations of the story, but that's kind of what it is.
Gotcha.
But that is a fairly famous one.
That sounds vaguely familiar to me. I mean, it's not 100%, but I've heard it or a variation of it.
Yeah, no, there's a lot of variations, and like I said, if you're wanting for like people who actually did like a lot of research on it, like I said, BuzzFeed's Unsolved with Ryan and Shane. There's also the Ghost Adventures team. They also went to it.
Yeah.
But it's like in the middle of the woods. It's an old wooden bridge that is no longer used. They have a bridge nearby that is replacing it, but yeah, there's.
And see, I think that might be one of the reasons, though, Bubs, that people have a hard time with urban legends. Like, do I take it seriously or do I not? Because it seems like, I don't know if it goes state by state or what, but it always seems like there's another variation to the story or a new variation to the story. And I mean, let's be honest, guys, we could have spent all week, but we had a bunch of, other things besides, is what I'll say. But you could take one urban legend and spend hours upon hours upon hours trying to research it and find the beginning.
You know, one we haven't mentioned at all, even in our just normal conversations?
Oh.
Jack the Ripper.
Jack the Ripper was not an urban legend.
No. Did it actually happen? Yes. But the reason that they say it's an urban legend is there's a lot of people who say he wasn't human.
Yeah, I have heard that. I also have a theory of my own that one of the H.H. Holmes, one of the original serial killers here in the United States, it was awful funny that he disappeared from the United States about the same time the killings were happening in England. I wonder where he was.
Well,
hello.
Yeah, no, there's been talk about that as well. Some people say that there might have even been sightings of Jack the Ripper in Kentucky.
Wouldn't surprise me. It would not surprise me. I mean, and the reason that I say that is because nobody really knows. And I hate to say it about a serial killer, but the coolest part about the Jack the Ripper story is that nobody knows. It's like he just disappeared. I mean, is it possible that he was arrested and thrown in prison? Yes. Is it possible that one of the ladies of the evening that he jumped out on and tried to take care of took care of him instead? Absolutely. I mean, anything is possible. I think that's one of the cool things about urban legends. Anything is possible.
I mean, the thing is, like, maybe he got arrested for something completely unrelated, like just how, of course, everyone knows about this, but like Al Capone went to jail for tax evasion.
right?
Not for being
Right.
in the mob or anything like that.
Yeah, not for
Uh,
running the mob. No.
Yeah. Yeah. So who's to say Jack the Ripper didn't go to jail for like petty theft?
Yeah. And who's to say that he just didn't kind of
Stop.
end the way he started? I'm done. You know, that's like I said, that's one of the things about urban legends and legends in general is the mere possibility of it. Now, Bubsy, do you have any just like I said, I don't want to hit too many of them because a lot of the movie urban legends have already been disproved, but you know, you mentioned one a little while ago, and I actually found it as the urban legend that the Joker drove Heath Ledger to insanity.
Yeah.
Right
Well,
now, let me read you the little excerpt, and then I'll get your play on it. Okay.
mhm.
Playing the Joker ain't no joke. For one to understand the deeply troubled character, one must try to see things his way. Heath Ledger embodied the Joker with stunning layers, leading viewers to believe that the role had really driven him mad. In order to achieve a more convincing performance, Ledger allegedly asked Christian Bale to physically assault him. Ledger passed away right before the release of the movie, and those who follow this theory believe he pushed himself to the brink during The Dark Knight. However, it was confirmed later that Ledger died of an accidental overdose. But there's people that don't believe that. They think because of how hard he went at this character that he couldn't release the character.
Mhm.
So what do you think, Bub?
Well, there's what I think it's called method acting, where it's like you become the character or whatever.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like how people say like they partition like when like in this situation I act like this, when I'm like this I act like something else, depending on like what's going on. Well, I mean, there was talks like Heath Ledger, you know, wasn't eating for days. He locked himself up like he was in a mental institution, so that he was like in Arkham Asylum. I mean, there were a lot of claims. And what if it was, you know, he was an accidental overdose because he was trying to escape the Joker in his own mind or whatever?
Yeah, I mean, there's
I,
even a story that I've heard that Jack Nicholson, who played the Joker in Batman with just went blank. Anyway, the first Batman back in the 80s, that he had talked to him and told him to be careful, that this character really gets into your head and he's hard to get rid of. And, you know, Nicholson played a even more comedic
and subdued
style
a
of the
little bit,
Joker. You know what I mean? I mean, he was dark, but he had a more comedic style to it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I don't know. I mean, you know what I mean? I don't know, Bub. What do you think?
I mean, the dude, honestly, the guy Heath Ledger he did the character very, very well.
Yeah.
Probably, I'm going to say that the best Joker I've seen. And
yeah, he did it in a way that it was unexpected.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
But I mean, no one, I don't think, will ever forget that version of the Joker.
Yeah.
Like I haven't seen the most recent like the actual Joker movie. I can't remember the
What
actor.
is it? Who plays it? Joaquin Phoenix? Is that who plays him in that?
Yeah. I've heard he did a great job, but like, it's very hard, I'd say, to try to stand up to Heath Ledger's Joker. I mean, I've not watched it, but I would like to at some point. But
the difference there is the Joker movie with Joaquin Phoenix was a build up to how Joker became the Joker. You know, it was more about the things going on with him and how he became the Joker. Ledger's was kind of the other side of the coin. He'd been the Joker for a while, and it was how it focused on everybody else, if that makes any sense. And I could be wrong about that. And guys, again, drop it in the comments if you think I'm wrong. I can handle it. I'm a big boy. Right. So, have you ever heard of one of the urban legends? And I had forgot about one until I read this. there's a movie urban legend called the Superman Curse. Have you ever heard that?
No, but I am very intrigued.
Okay. Playing Superman, this is straight from the websites, should be the highlight of any young leading man's acting career, and it would be if it weren't for the Superman Curse. The Superman Curse refers to a series of misfortunes that have struck certain actors who have stepped into this role. George Reeves, who played the superhero in 1951, died from a gunshot wound just 8 years later. He was followed by Christopher Reeve, who starred in the Superman films in the 80s. Reeve would become paralyzed due to an equestrian accident. 8 years later, the curse expands to the creative team as well, with multiple alleged victims over the years. However, some argue that the sheer amount of people working on Superman adaptations can explain why there are so many notable cases of misfortune. Still, it's enough to make actors think twice before they're putting on the red cape. So, yeah, it's like I had heard that one once before. George Reeves was the guy that played Superman on TV and did a really good job. I thought he was an excellent Superman.
See, I thought when you originally said the Superman curse, I was like, oh, your hair, it just automatically has a spit curl. I thought it was going to be something like that. And then you're just like, oh, yeah, they died. Hi.
No, I'm not that. You're not that guy, pal. I'm not that shallow, right? Or whatever. But it kind of just goes to show. Like I said, there's some bad things that happen. And I think I kind of agree with the fact that there's probably such a massive amount of people working on Superman and all the adaptations. By the pure law of averages, you're going to have a higher number of people that are involved in something get hurt.
Right.
Because you have that many people involved. I think it's tragic that what happened to George Reeves. I think it's tragic what happened to Christopher Reeves. But you can see where they take a small grain of truth or something and it grows into an entire thing.
Yeah.
Right? Excuse me.
No.
But I mean, it's really crazy how that works, right?
So I didn't have any movie ones because I actually didn't think of that point.
Oh, that's okay. I mean, and I just wanted to do a few. We can move on to the other ones. I just wanted to throw them out there because I'm sure I'm not the only movie buff that listens to our podcast. At least I hope I'm not.
Well, and I mean, like if there's, I know I've heard mentions of it, but there was some like paranormal movie where the
Poltergeist.
Was it Poltergeist that they actually started experiencing hauntings like themselves?
They said that the majority of I've heard that one, that the young lady who played the little girl in the Poltergeist movies, that she was haunted after that, and it's what drove her to what happened to her, and that other actors and other people involved in the productions were haunted repeatedly after this movie. The theory is, by some of those who, go that way, is that they got too close to the truth and the other side got mad. I don't know. It was a creepy movie when I was younger. I mean, I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah.
When she looks, at there's the scene that I'm sure if anybody's ever heard of Poltergeist, they know it or they've seen it on YouTube. The TV's all fuzzed out, all the static. The little girl staring into the screen. She turns around and she's like, "They're here." It's almost as creepy as Red Room. Red Room. I'm sorry. Well, I mean, and since we're tied to, because I think when you use kids in that kind of form, that it makes it creepier anyway. Well, and my number one reference for that, BUBBZI, is the baby in what is it, Generation Z or whatever, the TV show, the zombie.
No, Z Nation, 100%.
Z Nation. I couldn't remember that. But yeah, but you took something that should be innocent and all this other stuff, and it is without a doubt, beyond a shadow of a doubt, the creepiest thing that I have ever seen on any screen, anywhere, at any time.
So here's the thing. We have family members who are very afraid of zombies, but love to watch zombie inspired whatever.
Right.
Z Nation and like Walking Dead is great, but I think they take themselves a little too serious in a lot of situations. Like, I get it. That's what it's supposed to be. Z Nation is like the like just enough of, oh my gosh, this is actually happening, and that's really funny. It was like the first or second episode. They have a child, like an actual baby, an infant, and it turns into a zombie in the dark.
It's creepy, guys. I'm telling you.
Bunch of debris, and you just hear this baby zombie skittering.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
Mm.
It's one of those things. And you all got to understand too, as we're laughing about this and giggling about it and talking about how creepy it was. This movie had this TV show had a lot of comedy in it.
Oh my gosh, so much.
Okay. I mean, it was hilarious as well in some sort. But no matter if you watch one episode and you see the creepy baby and you watch 10 more, or you watch the entire series, you're not going to forget the creepy baby. I don't care what happens.
No.
You're not going to forget the creepy baby.
By the way, Doc is my favorite character. Hands down.
Yeah. All right, man. We better move on a little bit. So let's talk about some urban legends from Kentucky, and we'll throw in a couple of others from some other states. And then, like I said, I've got some ones that are supposed to be the ones that really creep you out a little bit.
Well, I've got
Matter of
one
fact, the
for
title says
you.
"Chilling Urban Legends Guaranteed to Make You Lose Sleep." So,
Oh, I don't need any of that. Thank you.
so what do you got from our home state of Kentucky?
Well, this one will make you happy there, son. It's called the Hillbilly Beast.
You want to know what's funny?
Hmm.
What do you think is on my screen right now?
The Hillbilly Beast.
That's right. Go for it. Tell us all about
Oh
it.
my gosh. Well, everyone knows the beard believes in Bigfoot.
Yes.
For some reason, Kentucky decided instead of saying we'll call it Bigfoot, we'll call it the Hillbilly Beast. The only difference is that it supposedly smells
Well, now,
like a skunk.
if you follow the Bigfoot legend at all, there's been numerous reports of a severely foul smell when sightings have been seen. But again, and you know, if any Bigfoots happen to be listening, I'm not trying to insult you, okay? I'm just saying, if you covered in hair and you run around the woods and you roll around in the dirt, you're going to smell like a wet dog when it rains. I'm just saying. So I don't know. But no, I think the Hillbilly Beast is actually pretty cool, right? Because again, he resembles Bigfoot, probably is a Bigfoot, you know. But did your stuff say that, I don't know if your thing says this, but on mine, it says the legend of the Hillbilly Beast dates back to Daniel Boone's day.
Yes, it did.
Isn't that cool?
Yeah, I brought that one up for you. The one in Kentucky that worries me the most.
All right, go for it. I gotta hear this one now. With that lead in.
No. The one that is just kind of terrifying to me is Crybaby Bridge.
That sounds very familiar.
Well, so, like I said, we like sci-fi stuff like this. We used to own a book called, what was it? It just escaped my head. Something like Haunted Places in Kentucky. It's a very like large book.
It was Weird Kentucky or something like
that's
that.
what it was called.
Weird and
Kentucky.
Haunted Places. It was a great book. He wore it out.
Yeah, no. I loved looking through it, but they had a whole section just on urban legends, and that was what I read a lot. So there are a lot of eyewitness accounts of Crybaby Bridge that were listed in that book, as well as supposedly what happened at Crybaby Bridge.
Okay.
Not only does Crybaby Bridge bring in occult practices possibly done at that area, you have mothers who would take unwanted or sickly children there.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So it's so the whole thing is, and there have been, like I said, many people who have said they've gone to this place They've heard it. They've seen things. It goes. I don't remember. It goes over like some river or a lake or whatever. There have been people who said they have seen tiny hands coming out of the water. They have heard the cries of children. Like,
Okay, they won't be getting any of my tourist dollars. I'm just saying.
like this one worries me. So
Nope, none of my tourist
Yeah.
dollars.
But the thing is, that's not the only thing that happens in this area. There's
Okay.
also a hearse that apparently appears on this road and will drive people off the road.
Now, I don't want to be drove off the road, but is it sad that I would go camp out to see if I could see the hearse, but I don't want to see the other stuff? I'm just saying.
This is also one of the places, like I talked about earlier, time skips happen.
Interesting.
People saying that they went to the bridge, they have like text proof of this is when I entered. They say that on their phone, they've checked that they've only been there for like 5 or so minutes. And they step like a certain distance away and they'll have missed calls, they'll have missed texts,
Interesting.
and that the time will suddenly jump.
That's crazy. No, I got it.
That is one of the creepiest places I think Kentucky has. I never want to go
Yeah.
near it, but
Now-
hearing about it is insane.
Right. Now, I have one that actually kind of intrigues me. All right. It says that a ghostly police officer supposedly likes to patrol the Narrows Road in Erlanger, Kentucky.
Mm-hmm.
In the 1950s, an officer was hit by another vehicle during a routine traffic stop. Now, he pulls people over in the same vehicle, but disappears as he walks to the person's car or away from it. He's also said to sometimes talk to the people that he pulls over. I'm sorry. I would love that. That would be cool. I'm just saying.
Oh,
But I mean, can you imagine being out in the middle of nowhere and you get pulled over, though, and you're like, because you know how it is when those lights come on behind you, your heart immediately goes. Anyway,
well, see,
and then as you're watching him walk up in the side view mirror,
here's the thing: like him talking to you, like there's a lot of legends in like Japan or whatever, whereas like you're not supposed to talk to anybody in the middle of the street at night. Because what'll happen supposedly is like a lady will come up to you and go, "Am I pretty?" or something like that. And if you respond at all, like I'm talking even looking in her general direction, she like just kills you.
oh,
Yeah. No. I forget. I may be like misremembering and like combining a few things, but yeah, no. Like a woman will come up to you or pass you or like follow you for a little bit, just going, "Am I pretty? Hey, am I pretty?" And like if you turn around to look at her, if you say no, there's also like another one like, "Have you seen my child?" or whatever.
yeah.
Yeah, like there's tons of those.
I've heard that one. Now, see, that one I've heard. That one I have
Yeah.
heard.
There I may be misremembering because it's not on anything I've found, but it was from that book that we had mentioned. I think it was something in Kentucky called like Demon Peak or whatever.
Wow.
And it may be like a completely different name, but what it was this stretch of road through the mountains where at a certain time of day you would be going down this road, and what you would see is you would see the road continuing straight, because you can see the distance of the road or whatever. But what actually happens is there is a very like almost a 90-degree turn to like your left, and what would happen is people are seeing the road in front of them off in the distance and they just continue to drive straight.
Oh, wow.
That's
Interesting.
supposedly a place in Kentucky. There have been like tons of deaths or whatever.
I can see that we're having. I got one that might be a little creepy.
Mm-hmm.
It's from Louisville, Kentucky.
If it's the one I'm thinking about, yes.
Hogan's Fountain
Yep.
in Louisville, Kentucky's renowned Cherokee Park is home to a finely crafted statue of Pan. For decades, late night park visitors have claimed that on the full moon, Pan goes for a stroll. These nights are told to be filled with mischief, like car damage and other annoying acts. I'm, that it's not as creepy as the babies, but that would creep me out to no end. I'm just saying, right?
Yeah, that one's a little. Mhm.
I mean, and you know, when you think about, I guess the how do I say it? When you think about the location, because Louisville is one of the largest towns in Kentucky,
Yeah.
you know, it's supposed to be a center of commerce and stuff like that. And but then you hear, oh, we have a statue that likes to go for a walk on the full moon. For real?
Well, here's the thing.
You know, I mean,
Like I mentioned earlier, sci-fi, Doctor Who, Weeping Angels, please no.
right, right.
Don't blink. This one, like you were saying, is very creepy because not only, well, speaking of yours, like Pan.
Yeah.
Like, dude, it's just like, hi, you're in the middle of a metropolitan city. You took away nature. I'm gonna cause some mischief. Because that's what supposedly what Pan is supposed to be, is like the keeper of nature or whatever. He's
I got you.
You've taken nature. I'm gonna screw with you now. You know what I mean? And I think we may be looking at. I think we may have part of the same list or something like that. But have you heard of the Pilot's Knob Watcher?
That one I have heard of. That one I have heard of.
So I'm gonna read out what like little information. Now this one is kind of strange. Reason being, as far as like urban legends, people like to talk about urban legends. The people who have experienced things with this rarely talk about it.
Okay.
So near the child's witch gravesite, a child witch, another dark spirit looms known as the Pilot's Knob Watcher. The presence encourages a quickened pace and makes the hair on the back of your neck stand up. It seems to loom around the child's iron prison, making its presence known to those who go there after dark. Some say it guards the spirit of the girl. Others say it waits to snatch the child's spirit, dragging it into a darker place. Local residents avoid the area and seem somewhat frightened to speak of it, unlike most urban legends.
Well, but I only have one problem with that.
What?
If they're afraid to speak of it, then how do people find out?
I don't know. Obviously, it's been talked about a
I'm
little
just throwing
bit.
it out there. You know, I'm just being me, bub.
Well, like, it's like, oh, I'll give you a Benjamin. Tell me about it.
Yeah.
Like, somebody definitely had to pay for the story. You know what I mean?
No, I got you.
But yeah, no, nothing scares me more than the Crybaby Bridge. But the thing is,
that one's way past creepy, dude.
No. But the thing is, the Pilot Knob actually continues. So you have the Watcher of Pilot's Knob. We're not even talking about the little girl yet. So
Gotcha.
people were once, and some still are, very suspicious about this. In the late 1900s, the small town folk, they were really bad, whatever. So a woman and her 6-year-old daughter were accused of witchcraft, but their trial was foregone. Instead, the townsfolk burned them both at the stake. They feared the repercussions of their judgment and took precautions to prevent the child from returning.
Wow. The
child lays in a steel-lined grave, but the dirt has been replaced with concrete and gravel. Then they put an interconnecting cross fence so that her spirit would be trapped within the borders. Today, the fence is wrought in iron and has several spots that look to be pushed out from the inside by a powerful force. Small footprints can often be found and seen in the gravel as well, according to those who have visited the site, and the child witch can supposedly pull people down into her grave.
That's, yeah.
It's a little, that's a little bit of Kentucky for ya.
Well,
Woo!
and yeah, that's just, yeah. and you know, we make fun of Kentucky a lot because we
Especially
can.
the chicken.
Yeah, and we make fun of Florida man, but so does everybody else.
Hmm.
But like I said, the one of the bizarre things about urban legends to me is that you'll hear stories that are similar in other states, but everybody has their own, version, if you will, of some story. Because we talked a little bit about, uh, skinwalkers or whatever. But for example, like Alaska, have you ever heard of the Alaska Triangle?
I think so.
Okay, now the Thrillist is the website I'm on. Anybody wants to look this stuff up themselves. All right, I always like to do that so y'all know that we're not just pulling it out of whatever. Right, but it says, why is it creepy? Encompassing an area ranging from near Juneau in the southeast to northern Barrow region to the western metropolis of Anchorage. Alaska's answer to the Bermuda Triangle is comprised some of the most barren wilderness in the U.S., and it apparently craves souls. More than 20,000 people have gone missing without a trace in the area during the past half century alone. Are they being consumed by the mythological beings like the beastly Kilut or the ghoulish kidnapper? And I cannot say the name. It's Qulupalik. I'm thinking it may be Kulupak or something like that.
Hmm.
Lost on extreme hikes or simply vanishing into a dark vortex. Nobody knows, though it's not for lack of trying. When the government lost House Majority Leader Hellbog Cessna in 1972, a massive search turned up a ton of conspiracy theories, but no bodies. So it's kind of like, I guess, the Bermuda Triangle, but only in Alaska. That's kind of what they're saying. Is like you just kind of go in and disappear. Because
I
I've heard
mean,
the same thing thrown out about the Bermuda Triangle, that it's just it's a vortex of energy or some kind, and you kind of in, and that's it. You never get out.
all I can
So,
is boo-doo-doo-doo, boo-doo-doo-doo, boo-doo-doo.
right,
The
right.
Twilight Zone.
Now, we actually know somebody from this, the Tinglet uh, tribe. They have a thing that they have tripped. They say that it is not just a dark place, but that there are evil spirits that live there, and they consider them trickster demons that lure people to an icy death.
Mm.
Maybe like they're showing you the way out or whatever, how to get back home, but they're just leading you further out. I'm not sure how that goes, but I don't know.
I
I
don't
just
know.
thought that was interesting,
I mean,
you know, because how many planes and stuff, and I don't have it pulled up, but how many planes and stuff have disappeared in the Bermuda Triangle?
hmm.
Man, wow. So, do you have anything from another state?
uh, obviously we have. Of course, I'm not. I told you I'm not going to say the name, but we have the Skinwalkers over
Go for it.
in uh, obviously the Southwest, which
Yeah.
these are
I think
supposedly.
Arizona is one of the bigger places, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, and I think everyone's heard of like Skinwalker Ranch and things like that. But like, and like I said, there's a ton of stuff on TikTok. If you want to like, there's a bunch of people like just talking about it, but there's also people like, I'm pretty sure that's a Skinwalker or whatever. Like when deers like randomly walk up to people and they're not running away, or like when your dog is acting strange or what. Those are supposed to be like Skinwalkers or whatever. But supposedly they are possibly human shamans or whatever that have can switch between a beast-like state and a human state. They crave human flesh and things like that. And there are some variations where they are considered like a cryptid. Some of them are
Yeah.
like a spirit that is like come back to right or wrong, things like that. Like,
Yeah, and it's one of those legends, kind of like Bigfoot, that you've got people that absolutely believe or they just absolutely do not. But everybody wants to find one or prove it. You know what I'm saying?
well, like I'm just saying, like there's been so many sightings, or like people who have it on recording, where they're in the middle of the desert, and all you hear is, "Help! Help! Help me!" there's no one.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like they're trying to get you to come to them, and it's just
Well,
like
and that kind of goes back. If you, it makes you wonder if the ones like the Tinglet we're talking about and your Skinwalkers are kind of the same trickster spirits trying to pull you out into the middle of something.
mhm.
You know what I'm saying? Just throwing it out there. But
Ugh,
the Windy Bagel.
the windy bagel.
I've got one from Connecticut. You ready for this?
Yeah.
Dudley Town. Never had heard of this one, but it kind of hit me.
Dudley Town.
Often cited as a dark vortex. Rumor has it that any visitor that steals an artifact from Dudley Town will have a curse put on them and their family. Dudley Town forced visitors report seeing just about every kind of paranormal phenomena you can think of. People describe an unnerving lack of wildlife in the area, as well as floating orbs of light and sinister wolf-like black shadows, murmurs, and disembodied voices, as well as feelings of general dread. Add on the fact that there's a mysterious group, sorry, I had to make this right, called the Dark Forest Association that polices the grounds with militant force, and you've got yourself a serious case of what the heck is really going on here.
Oh,
What do you think?
hey. So they basically just have their own militia, basically.
It kind of sounds like that, but it's kind of like your NASA question. What did they see in the ocean that made them go, nope, we're going the other way?
Yeah, like
What is in this forest that they need a militia?
well, like my thing is like, at least with the whole NASA thing is like, what did you find in the ocean that makes you want to escape the planet as fast as possible? You know what I mean? Like that's what it almost seems like. It's like, yeah, we no longer want to be on Earth. Thanks.
Yeah. Well, the thing of this, it says that the original thing came from the ill-fated Dudleys began back in England, where an Edmund Dudley was beheaded for conspiring against King Henry. And I want to give this because I think it's kind of cool. And you'll understand here in a minute. The treacherous act apparently unleashed a curse on the rest of the Dudley clan, which immigrated from Guilford, England to Cornwall, Connecticut in 1748. They helped establish a community centered around the town's then thriving iron industry before a series of untimely disasters fell the family. These calamities included a series of mysterious deaths, which in turn inspired madness and suicide among the Dudleys, several of whom disappeared into the woods never to be seen again. The remaining residents very sensibly ditched the town, which has been abandoned ever since. There is a militia protecting an abandoned town. Am I the only one that thinks that's just a little on the odd side? I mean, come on now.
That's
BUBBZI, you're thinking awful hard, man.
that worries me.
That's what I'm saying. If again, I get the historical associations trying to protect stuff, but I've never heard them using the militia style. I don't know.
Leave or be shot. Thank you.
Anyway. Do you have one, brother?
Of course, this is more like a conspiracy theory-ish thing.
Okay.
But there have been people who say that they have seen sightings of either strange beings or creatures inside Chernobyl.
Yeah, I'll buy that. That much radiation? Yeah, I'll buy that.
Like I think everybody knows. Like, Chernobyl went big boom, big bad boom, big to nature. Just what we don't know what that much radiation does, and the thing is, we can't get close enough to figure out what it has done.
Well, and again, there's always somebody trying to make a buck who's not going to buy the threat, and there's no telling. I mean, just no telling whatsoever.
Yeah, that was the only one that I like had left. It was like, but no, I mean, people have seen, like, said they've with how, like, there's some people who said they've gotten pretty close to Chernobyl. Obviously, no one's made it fully into the city because it is still dangerous to be there for extended periods of time. But they say they've seen things moving in the woods,
Right. Yeah.
and inside the
Nothing would
buildings,
surprise me. Right.
and like things that are bipedal that should not be bipedal. Yeah.
I got you. Well,
So
I got one last one, and then we'll kind of go hit the ones that we believe real fast, and then we'll do our closing and get out. But since you mentioned the Goat Man of Kentucky, right?
well,
Maryland.
I mentioned Goatman, but I don't think, is there one of Kentucky?
There is one of Kentucky.
Oh,
There absolutely is. Yeah.
Mm.
But Maryland, Maryland's infamous goat man allegedly does all the things you would expect a deranged half goat, half man to do. Kills teenagers, eats dogs, screams like a goat, etc. But the most terrifying aspect of this is just how deep this legend or this lore goes. Good thing we're sitting down, Bubsy. The USDA was even forced at one point to publicly deny accidentally creating the beast in their Beltsville Agricultural Research Center. Another tale revolves around a goat farmer who, after realizing a group of rowdy teens had killed his tribe, went totally crazy and turned into a teen-slaying goat monster.
The USDA.
The USDA, the one that says that your hamburger and stuff is crime.
I don't like that.
I mean, isn't it? I mean, but seriously, if you think about it, I mean, is the goat man real? I don't know. Could he be? Possibly.
See, here's
But
the thing.
you're getting the United States government involved.
Here's the thing. Now we take this a step further. They had to say that they publicly did not create it in this lab.
Right.
Who's to say they didn't create it in a different lab?
Well, I mean, I don't want to be controversial at all, but we know how it is when people say they didn't create something in their lab, but did. Anyway, but it says that the first time the first recorded media mentions of the Goatman occurred in 1971. It says, courtesy of Karen Hostler of Prince George County News, the first was a deep dive into Maryland folklore, followed by an actual news item about a family blaming the brutal decapitation of their puppy on the Goatman, which may or may not have just heard about it through the news. 1 month later, the Washington Post ran a national feature detailing the legend of the Goatman. Ultimately, the Goatman has become America's most persistent and well-known urban legends, which claimed sightings still occurring with regularity and cheesy fictional still creeping around the old line state. But again, it starts, maybe there was a grain of truth to something in there somewhere, or, somebody just having to explain something they couldn't explain. I don't know how it goes, but then the story grows and it grows and it grows.
Some of these
and before you know it, you have a legend.
Some of these are
the fact that they got the U.S. government involved in it just kind of, blows my mind. So,
yes.
Bubs,
Imagine having to write that press release. It's like, we did not create the Goatman. Like,
right. Yeah. That's. So we're down to what we believe. Give me one or two that you actually believe is true, and I'll do the same.
Obviously, Bigfoot. As said earlier, I'm terribly terrified of ever trying to go near Crybaby Bridge.
Right. That one, no.
Like, no. There have been sightings of people seeing hands coming out of the water. Baby. It's like you take that TikTok trend where they have the tiny little hands on their fingers, but it's coming out of water and crying.
Can you imagine how bad you could mess with people, though, if you had a bunch of those little hands and caught about 20 turtles and strapped them on the backs of the turtles and then let them loose?
Stop. Stop. I would say, those two. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. For me, go ahead.
Just terrified Crybaby Bridge.
I got you. And I mean, it goes without saying, I am a believer in cryptids. You know, I think the legends, if they aren't true at the moment, were true at some point.
Right.
Okay. That's like the Loch Ness Monster. It's, as far as I know, it's been a while since anybody has had a sighting of the Loch Ness Monster. But that doesn't mean that the Loch Ness Monster did not exist at one point.
Yeah.
You know, so, and, you know, Bigfoot, I would love to go on a Bigfoot hunt. I would love to just do it. I think it would be fun, you know, because again, guys, you know, and this is just, that's mine. And I'm kind of with you on the Crybaby Bridge. I'm going to believe that one because it's just so creepy that I don't want to not believe it. Does that make sense?
I want to hear you do a Bigfoot howl at one point if you ever go on a hunt.
Wait till I stub my toe going to the bathroom tonight. You'll probably hear it.
You ever heard, what was it? Talking about like Bigfoot howls, Tom and Jerry, like one of the screams that Tom did.
Yep.
Now that is like prime.
Yeah. But yeah, it's, you know, and it's, again, for me, guys, it boils down to simply is this. And again, I just would rather live in a world where anything is possible than to live in a world where nothing is possible. And, you know, any of these things we mentioned, any of the things that you guys drop in the comments, and please do, you know, tell us where you're from. Tell us what's the prevalent urban legend from your area, right? And because, you know, I try to comment, at least like, but I read every comment we get every time, you know, somebody pops up, whether it's on the audio or the video, I try to track it down and read it. And because, you know, we're trying to connect, we're trying to be a part. So put it down. Tell me what state you're in. And, you know, if you're like me, it might be the state of confusion. I don't know, but I know I went with the bad dad joke, right?
Well, not only like, I get it's a dad joke, but that one actually hits really hard. Like, oh my gosh, like, yeah, I'm in pain. Thanks.
But, you know, and put what tell us which ones you know, do you believe it, or is it just an urban legend, you know, from where you're from?
Yeah.
And that's okay. But I want you all to get this, and for whoever's listening and whoever's watching, you know, whatever, people are going to make fun of you with no matter what you believe, right? If you don't believe in what they do, they make fun of you, especially anymore. If you believe in what you do, they're going to make fun of you for what you believe. But don't let that stop you being that person that can look into the thing and see the possibilities.
Yeah.
You know, don't let them destroy the little child that dreams about being a superhero and all that stuff. Right. Because, I mean, imagine going, you know, a goofy good looking guy like me going out with some people that are looking for Bigfoot. Let's be honest. I have the same chances of winning the lottery as I do of finding Bigfoot. But if I don't look, if I don't play, then there's no possibility that I can win. If I decide that nothing is possible, then I'm never going to see the amazing things that are around us every day.
Right.
Because if you can't believe in something, then ultimately you end up believing in nothing. And that's just the Beard's humble opinion. You know, this is my little deep section that I do every time we do a podcast.
This has been Wise Words with the Beard.
Yeah, you know, words of wisdom from the Beard, whatever you want to call it. But you may think you're different. That's fine. Be different, right? You know, if you know, go out and hunt Bigfoot. Stay away from Crybaby Bridge,
please.
You know, go check out the stuff that interests you and all that stuff. Because that's the reason we do some of the podcasts that we do. It's simply because it interests us.
Yeah.
And we want to share how it interests us with you. We want to have a little fun. We want to talk. We want to laugh. We want to make fun. All that stuff. You know, and then we want to see what you guys have to say. So don't let anybody else stop you from being a dreamer and believe in what you believe. And you know what I'm going to say, right? You know, it's coming. If you stayed with us the whole way, if you've been here before or your first time here, from this time to the next time, welcome to the family.
Well, and because he didn't give his social medias,
I'm not done yet.
It's
your closing thought.
This is how we do this. Like you usually stop talking before you say that. Okay, this is how we do it. All right.
I'm sorry. But you know, again, guys, this is just the chaos of us. Right. And if he
Yeah.
doesn't want to do a closing thought, the only thing I want to throw out there is this: go to coffeetarian.store, find you some good coffee, support a great cause, put in
Yeah.
Beard, BEARD when you check out, save 10% on your first coffee order. And all I'll say is more sponsorship to come.
Yeah.
We're working on it.
Maybe next month they'll have a charity of the deconstruction of Crybaby Bridge. Who knows? We
Right.
can only hope. But as you can tell, definitely leave us a comment about possibly urban legends in your area, or if you
Yes,
enjoyed
please.
any of these. If you believe in Bigfoot, let us know. Like, who knows? Maybe we'll have a whole TikTok trend of we're gonna go find Bigfoot, you know? But you can find him at the Caffeinated Beard on TikTok, as well as, I believe, the Caffeinated, that's with an 8 instead of a T-E, Beard on Instagram. I think it is. I may be incorrect. You can find me at It's BUBBZI. That's ITSBUBBZI. That's basically on everything. That includes TikTok, Snapchat, Instagram, Twitter, Twitch. The only thing that's different is YouTube. It's just BUBBZI. Please check out Coffeetarian, and yes, we have more sponsorships to come. Holy crap, I don't know where I'm going, but this has been the Caffeinated Podcast. Bye, everybody.